It is Trailer Friday, and today we're going to talk about another Cathay trailer. We're going to go into the world of Cathay, talk about some cool stuff here. Really, this trailer focuses more on Zhao Ming and less on Miao Ying, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the Xinqian units that we see showcased in this trailer. Not a whole ton. So what we're going to do here today is like we do with almost any time these trailers come out. I'm going to scrub through the trailer with you guys together. I'll be talking over it so that YouTube doesn't flag me for saying, hey, you've copied content or something like that, because CA put this video up too, and I will link the actual trailer if you do want to watch it. And then after, we're going to go and take a look at individual screens from the trailer and talk a little bit more about them. But let's just go ahead and dive on in on this bad boy. As always, guys, if you have not yet pre-ordered Total War Warhammer 3, you can do so using the Nexus link in my description. Nexus gets keys directly from the developer, and it is a great way to support the channel. I cannot tell you how much it helps me out, as well as liking, commenting, subscribing if you enjoy this video. Let's go ahead and jump into this trailer for Cathay. And like I said, we're just going to press play here. Let this go through. Let me make sure the volume's nice and decently low. We want to hear a little bit of it. So we get those Longma riders already off the start. And something interesting with those Longma riders we're going to take a look at when we jump back to the split screens. We get a little bit of that artillery, a sea of Xinqian units, a nice close-up here of some of those heavy armors, some sweet little spell casting to explode those. Man, that already looks sweet. We get some crossbow units, which actually kind of look like they're more like the dwarf style of unit with a shield on their back. We get Zhao Ming coming, dropping down. And I like the seamless transition on that that change, right? We get the really cool terracotta titans, sentinels or whatever they are. We get the crane gunners here, the warp block Giselles. Now we don't know if this is yin, that's yang, or alchemy. We get another spell here. Again, we don't know if it's yin, yang, or alchemy, or even astromancy, right? They talk about astromancers a lot so far. Look at them both looking cold and aloof. Oh, in tandem. A lot of cool action going on here. So let us jump back and take a look at what we can get here. And we're going to be just looking at this trailer with a fine-tooth comb, baby. So let this kind of kick off again, and we'll pause it right when we see this dude. So this is a Longma rider with barding on it. So it's got some armor on that guy. Let's see if we can see some more. So those also all have barding on them. Now, from the screenshots that we saw earlier in the initial announcement of Cathay, we saw Longma riders without barding on them. So this shows us two different options for them, possibly, right? And I think even that actual, you know what? I have the picture, so let's take a look here. I think that actual picture, yeah, he's got a spear on it. So I was looking to see if there was different or individual portions of it where maybe they didn't have a spear on him. He had a sword and shield. I thought maybe that was different. Let's go back to the actual video here, and let's just kind of keep going. And we get more of those Longma riders, and boom, we get a nice little still shot here of more of another shot of the artillery we already saw in the initial Cathay video, right? We've already seen these guys a little bit. We get this little individual thing here. Don't know what that is. Get the characters here. We see the gunners shooting off across the range or down range. Oh no, it's just the aura. Never mind. The leadership aura of the actual character. And now we get a really cool close-up shot of these guys. And we know we seem to be getting three different style of infantry. These dudes right here with the collars all the way up to their eyes. We've got the other guys that seem to be more of the palace guard with the more stylized looking armor, less of an actual face protection. And then the peasant style units. So let's go ahead and let this go a little bit further here. And also too, I guess it's worth noting, this guy in the back, that hero of some sort. And we get this shot. We see some Xinqian spawn. It just looks like all demons and then Forsaken, right? So the Chaos Warriors that are corrupted by Tzeentch. So I don't know if they made this trailer and took a look at a lot of the criticism about saying like, hey, is there actually going to be Xinqian Chaos Warriors that look Xinqian? And them going, well, let's just go ahead and remove them from that trailer and make sure that we have them like looking pretty polished for the Tzeentch trailer, whatever it is. But we get the Screamers already launching here. Not the Screamers, the Pink Horrors. And we get a pretty cool ability right there. So I don't know if that is going to be a yin, a yang, or an astromancy ability. I wouldn't assume it would be alchemy. Maybe that's dispelling something. I don't know, but that didn't look like a spell. Obviously, that's an attack. So will you be able to have an ability that puts up essentially a shield? Like how are you going to time that? I guess is my big question. Do I have to constantly micro my character and see when something comes? Or is this something that I can cast and it will put up a shield that anytime these projectiles are shot for 15 seconds, my character is going to do this, and it's going to like avert all the damage or something like that. I'm really curious to see what that actual mechanic is and what it looks like, but it's pretty sweet. So again, that caster character here, and we see these crossbowmen. So the crossbowmen look very similar to the dwarfs, right? How the dwarfs have units that are crossbow soldiers, obviously, but they also kind of double as warriors, as dwarf warriors, or even warriors with great weapons. And that kind of looks like the same approach here with these crossbows, right? Where this is a dual purpose unit, or at least a unit that's got some more combat capability. It clearly has plenty of heavy armor on it, and it has the same shields as their bros that do have sword and shield that we've seen in that same picture we were looking at earlier. So a lot of different unit types already that we've seen in this video. We've seen the spear version of these crossbow guys, the crossbow version. We know there's a sword and shield version. I believe we also saw a two-headed sword one. I can't remember. That might have been Kislev. We saw the Longma riders with barding on them. We've seen the Longma riders without barding now. We've seen the artillery piece. We've seen that hero. And that astromancer or yin and yang caster, yin or yang caster. Let's go further. A little bit of the Forsaken action here, getting killed, getting sniped out. And these guys look very Tzeentchian in their look. So I'm cool with that. You get a little Tzeentchian crest back there. So I like that look. We don't need to pause there. So I really like how that transition worked, right? That was a really cool phasing into from Dragon to Zhao Ming. And I wonder if you're in dragon form, you press the button and it'll have a really cool flourish, like a sync animation almost. And he'll jump down and become human. Or vice versa, right? He'll just swing up into the air and become a dragon. So I'm really curious to see how that's going to work out. If it will be something that is on a cooldown, can you maybe do it only a couple times per battle? Or is this ability something that's kind of linked to, okay, you can only be in this form for an X amount of time? Very similar to what we get with Malice Darkblade, how there is a mechanic around his transformation and going Super Saiyan. So I'm really curious to see what that's like. Just taking a look here. These are the other like Palace Guard people. This is, I don't know if it's a hero, a lord, a caster, whatever it is. We see some semblance of, I think this is the cavalry in the back. We'll talk about cav in a bit. Oh yeah, we see the peasant units. Let's actually go back to that just a little bit here. Okay, man, you're kind of pissed off at me right now. I get it. Sorry for pausing. Yeah, that's not cavalry, sorry. But you do get to see the peasant units in the background as this kind of comes forward right here. And we're going to get a good shot from the behind in a little bit. Go ahead and swing up. Again. Okay, there we go. There's the, these are the other units. I think they're called the Palace Guards in one of the press releases that I read. These are the Longma riders, I think, without barding on them is what it looks like over here. But, so 3 different types of infantry across what looks to be light, medium, and heavy. Like these guys don't look as heavily armored as the dudes who have plate or lamellar armor up to their eyeballs. So I'm curious if maybe these guys aren't as heavily armored, but they maybe have courage or something of that sort. And they all seem to have similar loadouts too. So I'm very interested to see how these play out. We know that there's a tier system in Warhammer 3 as visible as an actual icon. It's always been there in Warhammer, right? We've said, oh yeah, this is a tier 3 unit. Well, now in Warhammer 3, we see this is a tier 1, 2, and 3, and 4 units, an actual Roman numeral next to its unit card. So will these be the tier 3 or the tier 2 units? We don't know yet, obviously. We've got to see that roster reveal. But again, looking at this, we even see crossbow units of the guys we just took a look at, which are right here, right? We see the polearm variant, and it looks like the peasants can maybe just have polearms. the peasant force, as it were. Like these guys all just kind of mismatching pole arms. We see the pole arm version of the guys with the lamellar up to their eyes, and again, the different variation too between these two units. I think these guys maybe have sword and shield, or a hand weapon and shield. These guys have pole arm, and these guys have a crossbow. So far from what we've seen, outside of the peasants, both infantry forces have the same different unit types: hand weapon and shield, pole arm and shield, and crossbow, repeating crossbow, as it were. So that's very interesting to see. And then we got, of course, the crane gunners, as I believe they're called, because the Ming junks, the flying lanterns, they have the name. They call these guns the crane guns. So I'm assuming these are called the crane gunners. And so in the actual trailer, that guy just now said, you probably couldn't hear it, he says, we have alchemists, and it shows this. So I don't know if this is alchemy or this is yin or yang. I would have assumed it would have been one or the other, yin or yang, not alchemy. Yeah, it says alchemist right there. With sorcery, so I think this might be actually yin or yang and maybe not astromancy. We don't know how that plays out too. So I'm really interested to see, like, I mean, that's a lot of like lores and abilities and spell castings being added into this roster. Let me back that up just a little bit right here. What's in the back there? Wujing. So these things are called the Wujing war compasses, I believe. Like those big balls that we saw, the big like green jade balls being pulled by like 4 horses. So those little guys right there. I'm gonna see if I can get another shot. There's some like cascading blue and purple flame over there. I'm trying to get a good glimpse at. It must just have been the spawn, the way they were fighting. So another big thing to point out is these guys. These are the Tzeentchian disc riders, it looks like. It looks like Chaos Warriors that are riding the Tzeentchian discs. And it looks to me like that will be a flying cavalry force and not an individual single entity, which I would have thought it would be. Obviously, I would assume that you can have a sorcerer on a disc, but looking at this up here, you can see that it is clearly a unit. Over here too, and there's another part in the trailer we're not at yet, and this looks like a little catapult action. Oh, that whoa! It almost looks like a Tzeentchian version of the. Oh! Is this another force of Cathayan? It's a pincer attack! I'm so stupid. So, let's go back just a little bit. There's a part... Oh, where is this? Right around the terracotta sentinels. Aha! Here we go. This is the shot. You can see again these dudes right here. Those Tzeentchian disc warriors up in the sky. So, a lot to glean from this video, right? A lot of very different things that we've now been able to discern about the Cathayan military. We don't have a roster reveal just yet, unfortunately, and I am very eager to see. I'm kind of pausing to see if we see any of the. Yeah, we see no sky lanterns or anything like that. No representation of what there's the Kongming sky junk, which says it's as large as a ship in the Jade Fleet. So I'm wondering if there will be an even larger flying ship for Cathay. So again, very interesting video here where we covered a lot of ground. There's, like I said before, there is 3 different types of infantry unit, of 2 different types of infantry unit, and then there's the peasant style faction. Oh wait, no. There's something with the cavalries around here somewhere, and I can't quite remember where I saw it earlier when I first watched this, but I'll bring that one picture back up and I'll show you guys. It's like in the distance, and for some reason, right there in the distance, like clearly cav unit, the Wujing compass here. I don't know what's going on over here either. I don't know what that is. It's pretty spicy, but overall, I'm pretty excited to see what more is included in this roster. Right now, I'm a little worried that it's like 8 units of infantry followed by variations of range units. So it's nice to see the Longma has 2 different variations, right? The barding and non-barding. It's cool to see there is some type of cavalry of some sort. And from that one sketched picture that we saw in the original announcement, it seems like there's going to be a heavy cav option that basically has those dude with the lamellar up to their eyes. So we'll see probably something like that. I would assume we'll probably have also a peasant mounted force, because in the original blog it talked about, hey, yeah, peasants will do whatever it takes to ride to war to defend Cathay, even though that includes mounting horses and what have you. So I can imagine a mounted peasant force as well. But I am curious to see more about those lanterns. And to be totally honest, I'm very curious to see more about the game. I mean, it's awesome that we get to see all this, and I've been able to divulge a lot about what the roster might be, but I still don't know much about their lores of magic. I still don't know much about how the Great Bastion and Sieges are going to be playing into this, as was promised now last month, because we're at October 1st, and I have this a day ahead of time. Which, by the way, I put my video about changing the marketing out, and then I got access to this. I'm like, that feels weird. But either way, I think that the big concern I have right now is I want to see more mechanics. I'm stoked to see Cathay in action, and I would love to see more about that roster, get that roster reveal, get more on Tzeentch and its roster reveal. But like I've said like now 4 times already, I want to see more about what's coming with the big siege mechanics change. How is Zhao Ming's campaign mechanic any different than Miao Ying, and what are their campaign mechanics? What are the battle mechanics for Cathay? What is this harmony thing that they keep talking about? So campaign, battle, all these mechanics are really integral and things I want to know more about. This has given me a really cool little taste of Cathay and its seemingly complex military, right? There's a lot of units that we've taken a look at so far today, and a lot that we've talked about or discussed or hypothesized, especially about these guys back here. But I want to see some more. I want to know about the actual way that this faction is going to play. Because right now, what does everyone think that this faction plays as? We all think it's going to be a smash up of like Tomb Kings with constructs, Empire with a lot of conscript forces, as well as really nice elite forces, and then turtling abilities of dwarfs. That's kind of the consensus that most people have when it comes to the abilities of Cathay. And also, you have that Empire use of a lot of different types of magic. Alchemy, astromancy, whatever that is, yin and yang. That's 4 different types of lores or abilities, what have you. So, biggest takeaway from this is really cool to see these things, but not a whole ton new was divulged in this trailer. And I'm really eager to find more information on what's going to be coming with Warhammer 3 and with Cathay. But go ahead and let me know in the comment section below, guys, how you're feeling. Are you super hyped up? What do you want to know most about? Do you want to know more about the siege mechanics? Do you want to know more about the campaign mechanics, the battle mechanics? Are you curious to see the campaign map? I am hungering for that campaign map. I want to know if we're going to have the Chaos Realms as its own campaign map. If Cathay, how far south it's going to go. Will Ind and Koresh be included in portions of this? And in Pawn, like I want those answers. So as always, guys, like I've said, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below how you're feeling, what you're feeling. But as always, have a good one and take care.